Good morning. It is filled to the brim and it is Tuesday, January 9th, and I'm back from our holiday schedule and had a lot of things going on. This month, though, January 2024, we have a lot going on. It is a month, 21 days of our Daniel fast at Crossroads, and I would like to invite you to participate with us during this time. It is a very special and powerful time. Our Januaries are as we fast together and as we have many things going on that cultivate the presence of the Holy Spirit in our lives. This weekend, actually Thursday and Friday, we have the Holy Spirit Baptism Retreat. We have 35 people attending that. I want to let you know that because after Thursday, I'll be offline until next week. We also have the Holy Spirit Conference. It is our I Thirst for You conference, and it is January 26 and 27. You can come free of charge. We just need you to register. It begins Friday night, goes through Saturday, and then on Sunday, we have special guests. So if you can, come to our Sunday service. It won't be online because our special guests cannot share online due to the sensitivity of their work. So I want you to engage if you can with us. What a special time. You know, it's so important that we take the opportunities that are before us. I find that when people do not do that, when they do not seize the opportunity that God is giving to them to cultivate their spiritual lives, and they choose to put other things there, they choose to do that. And I find that they are spiritually dry in about 2 to 3 months. And they're wondering why. And when God has said, you know what, this was the opportunity to drink from my fountain. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we talk about the purpose of being set apart unto the Lord. The time of fasting is purposeful and being set apart, setting yourself apart unto the Lord. That's why we fast. It's removing some distractions, and it's important that we do this because it's an intense period of time where the Lord gives us a detox, direction, speaks to us. And if we truly take that seriously, it is very transformative. It's not just for the moment. It is not fleeting. It's transformational in our lives. And I pray that you see that the Lord wants to bring transformation in your lives in January 2024. So we're going to talk about our fast this month as I do fill to the brims. And the first thing I want to talk about is removing the distractions. Removing distractions. How many times have I heard people say, God told me this or that, but did nothing about it? They'll say, God told me to do this. Maybe it's a ministry. Maybe it's reaching out to a person. Maybe it's confronting a situation. Maybe it's getting rid of something in their life. And they say to me that God told me to do this, but they didn't do anything about it. They continued on the same pattern, the same path. How they said they heard from God, but then they did their own thing. You know, why does that happen? Well, sometimes it happens because they allow the distractions of life, of things around them, to get them off course. You know, and this isn't even in my notes, but as I was just kind of stepping in to turn on the camera, I felt like the Lord, was saying to me, tell the people, filling yourself up with a bunch of junk, more stuff. And I'm talking about stuff, and it can look like it's fairly innocent things. You see it all over on commercials and media, how you need this and that and the other thing, and more and more and more and more, and how actually that becomes a barrier to spending time with the Lord and spending time in His presence and prioritizing being in His presence, because your life is so filled with stuff, with more stuff that takes your attention away from the presence of Jesus, from time alone with Jesus. And it becomes a distraction, and our culture's all about doing whatever it can to distract us. And what I mean by culture is that the message behind all of the things that are being we are bombarded with, really, the point of it, and I don't think the intent of companies or whatever maybe isn't that. Their intent is to make money. But behind all of that is the enemy wanting to fill you with stuff so you're distracted. And many times in debt, which is a whole nother story. Distracted or burdened down with caring for all the junk that you've accumulated. And it is a dangerous place to be, because it takes you away from spending time with Jesus. Spending time with Jesus. How do you know His voice unless you spend time with Him? Truly, you don't. You have to spend time with Jesus to know His voice. John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me." My sheep listen to my voice. In some versions, it says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." In the Amplified version, it says this: "The sheep that are my own hear my voice and listen to me." I like that, because hearing and listening are two different things. It's so important that we just don't perceive the sound, but we actually give attention to the sound of Jesus' voice. Hearing is perceiving a sound. Listening says, I give focused attention to that sound. And Jesus wants your focused attention. In order for us to have that focused attention, we have got to turn off the noise of the world. We have that responsibility. Too many times I've heard that people have said, I don't have time to pray. That is a lie. You do have time to pray. You do have time to pray. But you have to turn off the noise of the world. The TV, the news, the internet, social media, unnecessary conversations. How many times people look to other people on your phone? Unnecessary conversations. Many times those unnecessary conversations lead you into talking about things you shouldn't be talking about. Gossiping, saying things about people you shouldn't be saying, criticizing, because it's a conversation that shouldn't be happening, that's been put in a place of priority that shouldn't even be there at all. How about some of the things that you take time to read rather than His Word? Tasks that can be put off. Now, I'm not saying that you don't take on that task later, but you can put it off. Projects that you need to say, you know what? That needs to be set aside until I have spent time with the Lord. Until I have listened to His voice. How about the noise of your mind? The noise of your mind. You can go into a room and say, I'm going to spend time with Jesus, but you have such noise in your mind. Those thoughts, those fleshly thoughts. Not taking them captive, but rather responding to them and even nurturing those types of thoughts. And the scriptures tells us, take those thoughts captive and bring them into submission to Christ. See, there are opportunities that we do have to spend time with Jesus. Declutter our lives. Take away the distraction. I am encouraging you to listen to His voice. Not just hear his voice, but to listen to his voice. Give attention to his voice. Obey his voice. So you hear, you listen, giving attention to his voice, then obey his voice. Because Jesus said, if you love me, you'll keep my commands. If you love me, you'll keep my commands. So this is where we begin. Spend time with Jesus. Remove the distractions. You do have time to spend in prayer with the Lord. You do. You do. But remove those distractions. This is a challenge for all of us. And particularly those distractions that are right here. Right here. Focusing in on him and his word to you. Because this is a transformational month. God has things for you. He has things to say to you. He has changes he wants you to make in your life. He wants to empower you. But you've got to listen to his voice. God bless you. Pray about this word.